We begin right here at 11 o'clock on the night team with breaking news as we do receive new developments days after the strikes against Iran. President Donald Trump speaking publicly for the first time today, saying this operation will go on for as long as needed.
We're already substantially ahead of our time projections, but whatever the time is, it's okay. Whatever it takes, we will always, and we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks. But we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it.
And now, in the hours since he spoke, we're following another new development. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Profit. It is Monday night, and the big story on the night team is what we are all going to be paying for gas, jumping big time in just the past few hours. That's coming up. But first, here's the latest breaking headlines we have from you on the joint attack on Iran. At 8 o'clock tonight, we learned that the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia has been hit by Iranian drones, again in Saudi Arabia. And 6 U.S. service members have been killed since the operation began since Saturday. And the State Department is now urging U.S. nationals to leave 14 Middle Eastern countries immediately. You see those countries marked right here on this brand new map tonight. Now to the huge jump in gas prices that happened in a matter of hours tonight. WHAS11 night team's Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Aspen Hester are live outside the Thornton's gas station right off the bridge on Court Avenue in Jeffersonville. And Alex, what are they paying for gas there tonight?
Well, Doug, to understand the gravity of where we are right now, we have to look back at where we were. So at around 1:30 this afternoon, this same Thornton's here in Jeffersonville was sitting at $2.79 a gallon. That was about the highest gas price that we saw around a Kentuckiana Thornton's. Now look at where we're sitting right now. Right now, we are sitting just under $3 at $2.99 a gallon. You can see diesel at $3.49 a gallon. And the impacts from the operation in Iran are being felt all over Kentuckiana and also including in our military town of Fort Knox, where service members have already been deployed. As the U.S. and Israel continue their joint military strikes in Iran, a sign that reads Radcliffe and Fort Knox, two communities growing together, serves as a constant reminder of support and unity for Kentucky service members and their families.
Probably March of 2005 in Kirkuk, and we were getting ready to redeploy.
The former garrison commander of Fort Knox confirmed that Kentucky service members have been deployed to assist in the Middle East operation.
There are missions and organizations on Fort Knox that have soldiers and Department of the Army civilians that are deployed to the Central Command area of responsibility, which covers Iran and that region of the world. So there are soldiers and like I said, Department of the Army professionals that are deployed in direct support and indirect support of operations that are going on right now in the Middle East.
Retired Colonel Lance O'Brien served 26 years in the Army.
This is in Afghanistan. We were down in the southern border area.
And says while there is a potential more Kentuckians could be called to the Middle East, their support back at home will be unwavering.
And I know this community will step up and they will support, and again, our soldiers, their families, and Department of the Army civilians that may be deployed in support of operations.
So this is actually who Radcliffe's actually named after. So it's Major William Radcliffe.
Radcliffe Mayor J.J. Duvall showing that the military support runs deep.
And we've been through this a number of times over the years where we see deployments or we see action happening overseas. And so us as a community, we really rally around that. And we pay a little bit more attention on how that affects not only around the world, but how it affects us here locally.
And is steadfast.
And it's not our first time, but it sometimes is the first time for some of those folks.
Being in Iraq early on, there was that initial chaos. It's my hope that the Iranian people can come together and build a institutional capacity and a governance that fits for them.
And President Donald Trump has said that he expects the operation in the Middle East to continue for up to another month. And it's likely we'll continue to feel those impacts right here at home in Kentuckiana. And that means from our military towns right down to our gas prices. Live in Jeffersonville with photojournalist Aspen Hester, I'm Alex Dieterer, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
All right, Alex, thank you very much giving us an update on that big difference in just a matter of hours tonight. Right here today down the street in the Nulu neighborhood, the continued chants in Louisville against the strikes in Iran, but this time led by University of Louisville students.
Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose,
Protesters here outside U of L's Nucleus building. This is on Market Street, leading into New Lou, demanding that the university stop their new research partnership with the Department of War and divest from military action in the Middle East.
This latest partnership at this building here, where they're hosting a suite, where they advance essentially military technologies, is taking away some of the funding that could be used for the programs that we as students, faculty, and teachers really need and take advantage of. So the one thing we want to prioritize is our education and not the militarization of it.
University of Louisville sent WHAS11 a statement tonight responding to the protests, saying in part, quote, "The University of Louisville supports its students and encourages them to share their views on important issues. Free expression of diverse thought and opinion is essential to the promotion of critical thinking and inquiry." An Indiana University professor and Middle East expert is tonight questioning the strikes on Iran. He says it's important to remember June of last year. After the first U.S. attack on Iran, President Donald Trump said the country's nuclear threat had been wiped out.
What's happened since then? If it's totally obliterated, how could they possibly have reconstituted it in such a short time as to make it an imminent threat? No one has made that argument.
That professor was a former Iraqi ambassador to the United Nations. WHAS 11 News following the joint attack on Iran and posting all new developments on the WHAS 11 app. You can download that for free from your smartphone's app store right now. The rain cleared out of here pretty fast tonight, and we are in store for one more really cold night ahead. And then hold on, we have 80s in your forecast. Mallory's joining us right now on the night team. And so at 6, Mallory, we showed everybody all that fog rolling in across the Ohio River. Is that going to be a big problem for drivers in the morning?
I don't think so. We're not looking at a dense fog scenario here. The fog that we had earlier this morning was due to some of that lingering moisture, basically mist or drizzle. And that could still be the case in some spots overnight, but you can tell from our visibility map, anything we're seeing in Kentuckiana is still over 5 miles of visibility. So nothing all too dense. Max HD radar has a few very light sprinkles still on the radar across our area, but the bulk of the widespread rain that we had today has since pushed off to the east and northeast. Temperatures really haven't budged all too much since earlier this afternoon. They've stayed fairly steady in the mid to upper 30s. Some 40s along and south of the parkways, and that will really be our overnight lows tonight because we have a warm front lifting, so temperatures should stay fairly steady, if not gradually increase into the morning hours. We're looking to start off tomorrow in the 30s and 40s. And then, hey, here comes more rain on the way, looking to roll in from west to northeast mid-morning. And then by the afternoon, some of us will enjoy some drier time, some warmer weather. Take a look at those temperatures well into the 60s in Kentucky. We'll talk much more about this warming trend, but this very active pattern coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Okay, so much to talk about later. Thank you, Mallory. New tonight, a 17-year-old's been arrested in connection to an early January shooting in the Klondike neighborhood of Louisville. This is the second person who's been arrested in this case. It happened on January 4th inside the bar Lenny's Lounge at about 5:30 a.m. 4 people were injured, including a teenager. The 17-year-old boy has been charged with 4 counts of assault and possession of a handgun by a minor. 32-year-old Ezekiel Dean was arrested weeks after the shooting and charged with assault and possession of a handgun by a prohibited person. And brand new tonight, former President Bill Clinton saying he never saw Jeffrey Epstein sexually abuse women or girls. The statement made on video from his deposition last week, now released hours ago by the House Oversight Committee. Bill and Hillary Clinton each faced roughly 6 hours of questioning from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. In one of the committee's exchanges with the former president, he was asked about a photograph showing him in a jacuzzi with a woman, her face blocked out by the committee.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
But he's also asking in the pool area whether other
Yes,
individuals.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so you don't know?
No, and then there were other people in the pool. Went out, I swam around, I sat in the hot tub for 5 minutes, or whatever it was, and I got up and went to bed.
And then I have to ask this, did you engage in any sexual activity
No.
with this person? Okay, thank you.
A day earlier, Hillary Clinton maintained she had never met Epstein, never talked with him, and had no information about the late convicted sex offender's criminal activities. Don't go to bed just yet. All new tonight on the night team. We'll take you to the Louisville Catholic Sports Hall of Fame. Some big family names honored tonight for their contributions. And then, remembering Jesse Jackson, the civil rights hero who visited Louisville often, is laid to rest earlier today in the same state where he fought segregation, and also ahead. There it goes, down into the Licking River in northern Kentucky. When people first started driving over this bridge, they were steering the Ford Model T. We'll show you its replacement on the way on the night team. But first, coming up right after our newscast, it's a brand new episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live with Magic Johnson, still to come at 11:35.
And as we head to break, here's a check of today's Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions, $473 million. Powerball, $249 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.